So I'm here to clean up the mess between prohibition and legalization of marijuana. So who here has had kids? Who here has a girlfriend, boyfriend, family with kids? Well, the federal, state, and local government, they're like our parents. There's so many of us, and there's a little bit of them, few of them, making the laws, making regulations, and trying to make sure that we're okay. Well, the federal government, they realize that there's not enough evidence with all these different strands of marijuana that can affect us. They know that there are substances and compounds inside of marijuana, like THC, which is actually okay. THC, there's a substance in there called dronabinol. It's a synthetic compound that actually is used in Marinol. That's used to relieve pain and suffering from AIDS victims and from patients with cancer. And they use that to actually help them out, which FDA actually said that that's fine. And but there's so many different compounds that we don't know of because there's so many different strands of marijuana that we can't really regulate because people are coming out with them day in and day out. We don't know what's in them. Okay, so with that being said, marijuana is a Schedule 1 drug, and being a Schedule 1 drug, it says it's high risk for abuse. There's no medical purpose, severe psychological and physical effects, and Schedule 1 drugs are the most dangerous of all drugs. Well, a lot of people dispute that, but honestly, if they don't have the scientific evidence with these certain strands and all these strands of marijuana, we can't actually take it out. The DEA actually stated that there was a petition to reschedule it, but how are we going to reschedule it if we can't actually say what is in all of these different strands of marijuana? It's let's see, there's no basis on this of scientific and medical evaluation, and the schedule recommendations from the Health and Human Services actually helped with the DEA's conclusion coming up to say that they're not going to reschedule it. And let's see, the GAO, the Governmental Accountability Office, which actually is like the watchdog, has seen some conflict between the federal and state laws, basically saying that the state law is saying in California that if you have a medical marijuana card and you get arrested with marijuana, you actually have to give it back. And there's been a court appearance about that. And in the court appearance, the state says, yes, give it back. But the federal government says, no, you can't, because it's a Schedule 1 drug, and you cannot dispense that back to people, and it's against the law, which the DEA ended up coming in and saying, okay, we're going to take this, get rid of it, so, alright, that's fine. And that's another thing with the Justice Department. They actually issue guidelines for federal prosecution, and it's basically saying that they're trying to show that there's different good ways to actually spend the money. And by actually getting these little guys, it's not a really good way to, just little users, it's not a good way. But you need to get the big guys that are actually making this stuff and dispensing it. Which, if it's not FDA approved, how are we going to do that? Because it's not good for us. We don't know what's in these. Yes, there's substances that's in all marijuana, like THC and all these little cannabinoids, but we can't really use it. You can't really say that that's all that's in them, because it's not. And it's basically like, I know some people, like Ethan said, that there's no record of anybody ever getting into an accident that was on marijuana, but a lot of us already know people that have been smoking and a little fender bender or something like that causing damage because, like David said, it slows your mental rate, and it impairs you. It's just like alcohol, it impairs you. So you shouldn't be driving on it, just like the Department of Transportation says that even if you have a medical marijuana card, if you have it in your system, you cannot be driving. You will get fired right there on the spot. And, well, just remember that the government's trying to make sure that you're fine, that you're good. Because if we don't have these rules and regulations, there's so much stuff that could happen to us that You know, we want our children to be safe. Because, honestly, if I have kids in the car with me, I know I'm safer than anything. I will not be using marijuana, even though people claim that it's safer. Safer than what? Alcohol? I'd say yes, but it's not safer than just being sober. Alright, thank you.